On a rainy day, I love the whole ritual of making bread. Bread isn't difficult to make at all, although it is a bit of a palaver, but once you've made it, you'll never feel the same about a loaf again. Start the bread making process with starter dough, which means more work, but it does make the bread much, much nicer, makes it tastier, chewier, and lasts a lot longer. To make starter dough, you dissolve a teaspoonful of dried yeast in a cup of warm water. Then you let that settle for 10 minutes before adding another cup of tepid water. Then add 4 cups of unbleached strong white flour and stir it for about 10 minutes. Finally knead it until the dough is springy. Leave it overnight to double in size. Starter dough is worth the effort. It gives the bread a chewier texture and better flavour.
I'm just mixing up 4 teaspoonfuls of dry yeast with some water. I don't add any sugar or anything like that because it's going to work. And yeast is the magic because it's alive. And other people, I'm sure, do it as well. Adding some water, by the way, 6 cups. Put that in. This is the starter dough, 400 grams of starter dough, which is so sticky. What I'm doing is I'm just letting the water absorb the starter dough. It's really all liquid now with a few lumps in. Lumps don't matter at all because they'll break down, and I can take a handful and just rub it off my hands. And then when that's ready, you add the flour. And I've got 2 kilos of this flour. It's white, not wholemeal. Could be better for you, I'm sure, but it's organic, it's unbleached. And the reason why we have white flour is because that's what we like. Now, at this stage, you mustn't forget to add salt. Now, I never quite know how much salt to add. A couple of tablespoonfuls will do. I don't like it with too little because it affects the taste, and too much is bad for it. It stops the action of the yeast. Just add some more flour. Not all of it at once, otherwise it'd be harder to mix in. Okay, let's put the rest in there. This is getting quite sticky. It's not like the starter dough, which is much firmer when you first make it and becomes more sticky. This is sticky the whole way through, and if it's dry enough to handle easily, then it's too dry. So what we're going to do is put this old apron on top of it and tie it round to keep the dirt out and to keep some of the moisture in, and put it in a warm place for at least 3 hours. And it wouldn't matter 2 hoots if it was 8 hours. It would just rise more slowly. And sometimes I leave it overnight and I just knock it back down again, and then it rises again, and it's all the better for it.
Our bread oven is a bit of a performance, and the truth is any hot oven does the job. While it heats up, which takes a couple of hours, I start the next messy process of making the bread. Put lots of flour on the table because the dough is very sticky. Don't be alarmed by this, it's that gives it its particular chewy texture. Divide it up into about 3 pieces, and then flatten each piece with your hands and roll it up towards you. Turn it round and roll it again. And then just shape them into balls, and it's ready. And then a sprinkle of flour over each loaf, cover them, and leave them to rise for at least another hour. They should take about 45 minutes to cook.
However often one does this, you never quite know if it's going to work, because the fire is variable, even if the bread is okay. Oh yeah. Well, I reckon that worked.